Class, welcome to our first video of Unit 2. Unit 2 has everything to do with simplifying variable expressions. Now we're not quite, today at least in this video, we're not going to technically get into simplifying variable expressions, but we're going to learn a couple of key concepts that are important when you are trying to simplify variable expressions, okay? So the very first thing right here, if we look, I can identify the factors of a number or variable expression. We'll get to that. And also, can we determine whether a product will be positive or negative based on the number of negative factors? All right, so those are our targets. Let's jump to it. Now, even and odd numbers. I'm pretty sure you guys already know these, but let's just write them out. The first 5 odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay. Just odd numbers, we know that. Now the first 5 even numbers we would say are 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We could keep going if we wanted to, just so that we understand what an even number is, right? And what an odd number is. So, that's one thing that we need to be very aware of. As we move on, we look at this word factor, okay? Factors are numbers you multiply to get another number, all right? So if we wanted to list the factors of 16, well, we need to come up with the pairs that can multiply to 16. Now for me, the easiest one is knowing that 1 times anything is that number, right? So if I'm trying to find the factors of 16, well, one pair is 1 and 16. All right? And then I would just kind of keep going. I look at the next number. What's 1 more than 1? Oh, 2. All right, well, 2. Does 2 go into 16? Sure. I know that 2 times 8 is 16, so 2 and 8 are factors. Well, now we would keep going. Can we say 3? Let's put a 3. Oh, wait, nope. 3 does not go evenly into 16, so 3 is not 1. All right. If we kept going 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. Oh, yeah, 4 and 4 make 16. Now, you can keep going and you can say, well, I know 5 doesn't, or 6, or 7, or 8. What I want you to know is once you kind of get to this part, and it kind of, like, these two numbers are the same, or once you kind of know that it's going to kind of go back the other way, well, you can stop listing out your factors. You know that 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Those are the only factors of 16. All right? Now, it's also important to know that we can have variable factors. That is a thing. And really, if we're talking about variable factors, well, the factors are just the things that are being multiplied together. So if I look at my factors of the expression 4 times z, well, what's being multiplied? The 4 and the z. So my factors are just 4 and z. All right. Now the next word we should remember from our first unit, we talked about the word product several times, and product is the same thing as multiplication. Multiplication. All right. So we have that. All right. Cool. And let's see here. Okay, so now it goes into some practice of listing the factors. I'm going to do 1 and 3 in the video, and then I'm going to want you, as soon as you're done watching this video, to try 2 and 4 on your own. All right, well, if I look at the number 12, the easiest one is, again, 1 and 12, right? 1 and the original number are always going to multiply back to the original number. Well, let's keep going. Ooh. I know that 2 is going to go into 12, and it goes in 6 times. So 2 times 6 is 12, so my factor pair of 2 and 6 work. Maybe 3. Let's see. 3. Oh, yeah. 3 and 4. Now, this is a good example. Like, I know if I kept going, I would get a 4, and then 4 times 3 is 12. So that's just a repeat. You don't have to repeat them. Once you have all of the different or original pairs, then you can stop. All right. Now, once again, I'm going to have you work on number 2 on your own. If we look at 3, we see we have a 3 and we have a variable x. So what's being multiplied together? The 3 and the x. All right. So there you have it. And then if you want, you can either pause now to do 2 and 4, or if you want, you can go back at the end of the video and try those 2 on your own. All right? Okay, as we move on, page 4, excuse me, this should be a review of the investigation that you guys just completed at the beginning of class. All right? And so what I want you to do now is I want you to count the number of negative factors, or the number of negative values being multiplied by each other. And then I want you to just, and I'm going to actually change this, I don't want you to use your calculator to find the product. I want you to use your calculator to determine if the product is positive or negative. All right, sorry about that big long sentence. So use your calculator to determine if the product is positive or negative. All right, well, let's take a look. I'm going to do like 5 and 6 with you, and then I would want you to try 7 and 8 on your own. Okay, so if I look at 5, I have how many negatives? I have 1 negative. Okay, I have 2 negative factors. 2. Now, I know if I multiply -3 and 4, I get -12. -12 times -2 is positive 24. Okay? And so I know that that's positive. All right? What if I do number 6? Well, 6, 1 negative, right? -2, -5 is the second one, and -1 is a third. So I have 3 negative factors. And then if I do some calculating, 4 times -2 is -8. -8 times -5 is 40. 40 times -1 is -40. All right, so we would say that that's negative. So at this point, I would want you to try 7 and 8 on your own. And then I want you to think about what we would fill in the blank with, okay? If the number of negative factors, or the number of negatives, is even, well, then there's a rule. And if the number of negatives is odd, well, there's a different rule. All right? So, let's take a look. If the number of negative factors is even, well, then our product was positive. And then if the number of negatives is odd, such as this one, 3 is odd, well, then our product was negative. All right, so that is a good introduction to the rules that have to do with even and odd negative factors. All right, so yeah, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in a little bit.